Back. It's still the Morning Crossfire 92.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Sam Oracle Chinedu, and for this hour, we're talking road safety. Of course, there have been lots of complaints by citizens of River State that certain persons in certain corners operating as a unit, task force, NURTW, and one or two persons impounding vehicles, and they've asked what the position of the road safety, the Federal Road Safety Corps, is on this. And so I decided to go very far and pull the corps commander, sector commander of FRSC River State, to join me and answer that question. And so, Corps Commander Salisu Umar Galadunci, the sector commander of FRSC Rivers, joins me this morning. Good morning, Mr. Galadunci.
Good morning, and good morning, the good people of River State.
How you doing?
And happy new month.
Yes.
Please, nobody should do any April. nobody should put me for any April.
Well, I'm guessing I'm certain nobody will do that here, but you know, there's still time. Back at the office, one or two things might happen.
Okay.
So just don't hold your breath.
So I'll be careful, people that call, so that it will not be an April.
No. I'm certain you will not get that kind of call here because lots of people have questions. So you've always asked for collaboration and partnership of the motoring public to ensure safer roads. That's something you've always done. But are there other agencies that the FRSC partners with in achieving this aim?
Yes, the Federal Road Safety Corps cannot do it alone. You know, we are the lead agency in terms of road traffic management in Nigeria and, if I may say, in the West Africa and the whole Africa. As confirmed by the United Nations Decade of Action on Road Safety and the Nigeria Standard Organization under the ISO certification that we have. So, but back home here and in River State especially, I've had a very good collaboration with sister agencies, the police, the civil defense, the military, and even the state government itself, because from the governor down to his lieutenants, whatever thing that I need, whatever thing that we need, once we call upon them, they're always ready. In particular, the Commissioner for Transport of River State, Honorable Barrister Osimagina, anytime I call on him for anything, particularly sometimes articulated vehicles will block roads. We don't have the capacity, that kind of heavy duty to truck to tow them away. So I always call on him and his staff. And even some other construction companies within the town that are working. When we call on them, they do come out to assist us in doing that kind of. We were making a desperate effort to get a towing vehicle, a heavy-duty towing vehicle that belongs to FRSC.
Okay.
Yes, you know, they are quite expensive. We have been pushing through the state government and whatever. But in the meantime, I've been getting enough support concerning those issues, and I'm glad that we are collaborating with them.
Wonderful. So there's good collaboration and, of course, relationship. What is the relationship between the FRSC and task force officials? Because that name keeps coming up. Apparently, they also impound vehicles, and people have complained. Where does the road safety stand with the operations of task force?
Yeah, from what I understand, the task force, you know, when I assumed duty, there was a task force. So there were some issues when the governor, His Excellency, disbanded them, and subsequently they formed another one, and they had a talk with them, and they have a mandate from what I'm told, because I had a discussion with SAG, and I think it's the office of the secretary to the state government that is directly supervising them.
Okay.
So far so good. And to my own understanding, the task force, that's why they are called task force. It's not all about traffic. But if you look at their work, I'm not speaking for them, I'm not their PRO, but I'm talking from the angle, from the perception that I have about the activity, is that it's not all about road traffic issues, but you cannot separate their work with that of traffic, because the mandate they have is to decongest those highways that people turn into market. You see people leaving their market, leaving their stores from inside the market, coming to the main road, displaying their wares, selling products and this thing. Those buses at the bus stops and whatever is instead of getting enough space where to park, load and offload, they would rather now park on the road because of those people that have occupied the space, the right of way that we call it. So basically, you will see that they will have to be clearing those vehicles that are parking on the road in order to get access to how they can perform their duty effectively. So those people that are selling illegally, people that have turned the road into a market and all those kind of things, I think that is the mandate of the task force, what they are doing. So before now, if you see that for you to pass through Ikwere Road, you will have to think otherwise, either you go through the GRA and this thing. But I believe now you can easily pass through there and get to where you want to go because they are there trying to clear this, and we are happy about that.
That means if we didn't have these problems, these people behave in this manner, we would not need a task force.
Yes, if Nigerians, even generally, not everything, issue of crime and issue of everything, if you look at it holistically, yes, if we don't have people that deviate, if you don't have people that go against the norms of the society, which is the law, do you understand? There wouldn't be need of all this fighting, all these quarrels, and all this one, sending people, arresting, do you understand? If you compare what is happening in some other countries where people know the law and they respect the law. People used to say there is no law. It is not true. The law is there. It's just like human being. It is with the human being that change. It's not the society. People will say society, and no, we the human beings, we are the one changing the world rather than the world changing us. So it is how we behave. It is how we act to certain things that the other security agencies come to. So we have to look at it in that way. The laws are there. How many of us are ready to even study the law? How many of us are ready to understand what is your right? How many of us are ready to understand what is the right of the law over us? Because the law says don't park on the road or don't sail on the road, do you understand? There are designated places where people should go and offload and take passengers and drop. But if people now come and do anything, the law says, do you understand? Your vehicle, you must maintain it, you must have trafficators, you must have driver's license, you must have vehicle papers. Then by the time a law enforcer come on the road and ask you about those things, he say it's disturbing you. It's trumping on your own right. You understand? So these are the issues that I want people to understand. If we do that one, everything will be quite good. So far in Rivers State, I think we are having it so good because you can see that there are some relative sanity in Rivers State, unlike when you compare before. Even during my time, I've been assessing my 8 months of stay here. I've seen improvement in the activities that we do because of this aggressive public enlightenment that you people are helping us to do through the radio. We go around, we talk to people in garages, and they are gradually coming to us because how you get to know their understanding and responding to it is by the way they normally call. Even the way they call my official line on daily basis, asking, making inquiry about one thing or the other, tells me and tells you that the people are listening and they are watching what we are doing and they are appreciating what we do.
Well, let's talk about what you're doing and how you've chosen to enforce what needs enforcing. Now, this is a report from July in 2020. It has your name on it, and it states that the FRSC shall revamp mobile courts in River State. I'd like to read a part of it. River Sector Commander of the FRSC, Commandant Salisu Galadunci, said the agency was planning to revamp operations of mobile courts in the state. This, he said, was to improve discipline and dispensation of justice for traffic offenders. A couple of months later, where are we on this?
We have commenced. We suspended the issue of mobile court because we are also Nigerians. We are also citizens first. I'm a citizen first before being a road safety officer. So I feel what other citizens feel. And I belong to whatever is happening in the society just like any other person. We're all aware that this issue of COVID, there are so many things that are happening. So we have to be part of that protocols.
Okay.
So because of so many reasons like that, we suspended, and coupled with the issues of the crisis that prevailed us, the NSAS and all those things. You know, when society is bedeviled with certain things, you don't come and insist you must do your own at the same time. So that to know in order not to compound the problem on the citizens.
Okay.
So we became considerate about all those things. We consulted and we said, okay, let us suspend some of those activities like the issue of mobile court. But now we have studied it. We have done risk analysis. We have studied the environment. We have seen that people are beginning to forget that there are those rules. We have now decided to come back. In fact, we have started the first mobile court that we did. It start on Tuesday in LMA. By today, Thursday, as I'm talking to you, if you go to Ishopo area, they are sitting. So every week we choose a certain place that we are going to go. As I'm talking to you now.
You mean Tuesday this week?
If I'm talking today, is Thursday.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to you now, if you go to Ishopo area, you will see a mobile court. The magistrate that is assigned by the state judiciary and our staff are already there working.
Oh, really?
On Tuesday, we had one where quite a reasonable number of traffic offenders were arrested. And some, because the essence of that mobile court is not necessarily that you must be found guilty. The essence is to make people aware that, number one, like we said there, quick dispensation of justice. Right there, the offender you arrested, you'll be presented before the magistrate. It depends on how the person that presents himself, the court can decide to say, okay, you are forgiven, don't do it again. If it is, the court can decide to say, okay, pay 1 naira. And that money that is paid into the state judiciary, not the FRSC. That kind of operation that we do. So we are right now sitting in Ishopo. Next week, we are going to move to another place. So I want to use this opportunity to even tell the motorists that as you move around in River State, you will see us doing some mobile courts here and there.
What is the reception to that mobile court like? Because the relationship of citizens of Nigeria with the judiciary has never been a good one.
Yes.
How have they taken it?
You see, naturally, Nigerians, or naturally, we human beings, we don't quite appreciate what is being done under the ambit of the law until when majority of people, or some people will feel, why are these people stopping us? Why are these people disturbing us? Why are they are conniving and extorting money from us. Last year, there was one issue like that. Before you know it, some people came out on social media and they are extorting money. And they say, the judiciary is there, assigned by the state government. We are now using also the police and other security agencies as a backup. So everything will be done transparently there, open, and you will see it. So how are they extorting money from you? So that kind of a thing is, the judiciary is there to do their job. That's why they are say the arbiter of the law. They don't look at somebody's face, and so whether somebody likes it or not, what they have passed judgment on that person, that is binding, it stands. That last year, I remember somebody even came to interfere and interrupt the court proceedings. And the magistrate right there and away ordered the person to be remanded. He was not even the one that was a vehicle arrested. He came because of somebody and made noise and disrupted the city. And that is court. I want people to know that once you see there in an open field, it's a court. So if anybody go near it and do anything, you are the same thing as the indoor court. You'll be served the same. And the person went to prison. It took a long process before he was granted a bail because they thought it was a joke. So I want people to cooperate to that system.
Okay.
And we like doing that one, like I said, instead of maybe the FRSC alone will catch you, particularly they will impound their motor, you go here, you go right there, and then you get the justice
Swift
that
justice.
you want. So we want the cooperation of people. You just need to just obey the law. Just need to be driving. You have your full valid driver's license and documents. You just need to avoid just taking overload. You just need to avoid driving with a worn tire because of your life and your safety. All those other things. Now rainy season is approaching. You need to be checking your lights. You need to be checking your wiper. You need to even be checking the heater inside your car. Because in a situation whereby your AC is not there, the heater is meant to warm the vehicle, you inside, including the windscreen, so that it will not be what do you call it, foggy and or frosty like that to impair the vision of a driver and all those things. Now we are doing, today, we have commenced a special Easter patrol. I want to use this opportunity to wish the River State people a happy new month and a happy Easter. Tomorrow we are celebrating on Saturday. We are going to be on the road for the next 1 week to ensure that travelers and people that are coming in, Because Easter, to my own understanding, is not a period like Christmas where people go here where celebrating. Now, this one is purely a sober reflection period. Abi? You just quietly find a place and worship, appreciate what God has done with the life of Jesus Christ and how he went and how he came back and all those things.
Worship means different things to different people.
To different
Galadunci.
people,
So
yes.
if I decide that for my own worship, I would flex a bit, would it be too much to ask?
Well, it depends on how you want to flex.
Okay.
Yes, flexing means you can visit a family, you can visit a friend, you can decide to organize a small, do an reception, but you don't go and flex and take alcohol and do and be driving and be behaving on the road and thereby causing danger to yourself and other road users. That's the kind of thing we are talking about.
Oh, truly, that is not good. You
Yes.
obviously tell us what plans the road safety has for Easter, but driver's license, that's always been a challenge with road safety.
Always to
It-
people,
Yes.
not to road safety. It's not to us. It's
No,
not a
it's
challenge anymore.
it's a double-edged sword. You know, you've had. I think the most complaints when people talk about road safety is around driver's license. Now, we've had lockdowns for months thanks to COVID, which was a global thing, and I imagine that that's time there must have been lots of licenses that were not issued around that time. How has the road safety balanced the gap?
And for your information, we do not allow lockdown affect the issuance of production of driver's license.
Yeah, but the issuance
Yes,
that has to be.
the production, and we do not allow it to affect because it is a very important document. So we created a situation whereby the people at the driver license centers were working during that period.
Okay.
Driver license processing. The only thing we introduced the same way the presidential task force protocols at the centers, that anybody that is coming, we do not allow the place to be crowded.
Okay.
We only allowed a certain designated number of people to be attending at the time, and the license is there. Lots, like you say, that it's just a awareness. I think if I recall, the last time I was in a studio, somebody called and made an allegation. And immediately another person called. He said it's not true. This is how he got his license. Nobody asked for extra cover, and he got it. So the same way, we still continue to call on Nigerians to follow the process. The license is there. As I'm talking to you now, I will still say it. There are so many backlog of numbers of licenses, unclaimed licenses that are brought there. People have refused to go and collect it. We have been making noise about it. We are trying to get the full names and the phone number. It will be so long for us to come and read in the studio. It will be so long for us to publish in a, what do you call it?
Yeah, but some
newspaper.
claim they don't get messages. I know that.
Yes, they don't get the message
Yeah.
because they have changed their SIM. Nigerians are very fond of doing understand because
Mr.
the SIM is so.
Galadunci, that cannot be the case for everyone.
It cannot be the case, but that's most of the case. I'm talking from experience because by the time we sit down in our office, we are calling people one by one. You call frantically, you cannot get the person. See, let me tell you certain situations why people don't get it. We agree there are natural things, death.
Yeah, some will die.
Some will die, and therefore you cannot get the number. Then there is a Nigerian factor of people just throwing away their SIMs. You understand? Thank God now with the NNI, people will no longer do because it's be difficult for you to get another SIM. But before now, as soon as the phone has something, how much is the SIM? 200 naira. You just go and buy another one and load. So when we are trying to get you on that number that you have used to register the license, it will be difficult.
Do you still send messages?
We still send messages. People see the received messages.
Okay.
You can confirm it with the public. People do receive messages. So those that receive the messages, they do come. Listen. But we used to tell people, what we always call people is, you don't have to wait for the message. If after 1 month, you have not heard anything from the license center, you do not receive any message, please, it behoves on you to go back to where you have done the license to check whether the license are there. Or you can visit any center for them to check the computer to see whether the license has actually been produced from the print farm at Abuja.
Okay.
If it is produced, the computer will tell you that it has been produced and dispatched to where you have processed the license. Or you just go to the place. I have not seen my license, please check. Sometimes, because the moment the license comes, like I say, I used to tell people, it's not our property. We are not the authorizing officers. It is state revenue that is authorizing. So the moment they return it from Abuja office, they take record, they hand it over to MLA in the office for dispatch or distribution to the owners.
Yeah.
So people should please take time. As I'm talking to you now, if you know you have processed license for long, you have not, please visit the center. You'll be glad to call the studio here to tell them, it is true, I've gotten my driver's license. They are there.
And the complaints about touting the last time, I remember. How has the road safety handled that?
It's a problem to us, we in the FRSC, because we have been fighting tout. Number one, in the FRSC, we have a policy, zero tolerance to corruption. And when we say zero tolerance, whether on the road, you don't collect money on behalf of anybody. In the office where they're processing driver license, you don't act on behalf of anybody. In the offices where they are producing or registering number plate, you don't act on behalf of anybody. In FRSC, it is a very serious offense for anybody to mediate between you and the person should go, because it's not our property, it's the revenue of state government. We don't have anything to do. But the problem here, most Nigerians, they associate or they give the ownership of the license completely to FRSC. Therefore, anybody that wants license, who is the next FRSC officer that I know, please, I want license. Most of the calls I receive on official line is about driver license. People want me to, I say, go and visit the nearest edit. So don't give money to anybody. Then the touts that hang around is something that we have been fighting. Even when I came here, I've been talking to people, I've been meeting with the chairman internal revenue. The former chairman has tried it, the current acting chairman is also fighting that one. People will call. I had a very serious argument, if I use the word argument, with a professor.
Okay.
They call me that a license. I said, no, this is how it is. To the extent that we went to the system, we produced the license record. You do not give the money, you do not pay money to FRSC. This is the form. On the logo, you will see the FRSC logo, you will see the Joint Tax Board logo. The revenue belongs to state government. So if you pay anything, the computer will show. We print it for you, we show you a record of the license and everything.
Yeah, but on your end, you can ensure that those who hang around and request money are not there anymore. It's your responsibility.
It's not my responsibility, because the office there belongs to internal revenue. We are only squatters. Why we are there is because the government created a one-stop shop for driver license. Unlike before, like I said, I told you before in this studio. Before now, you come to revenue office, you process. You go to office of the VIO, you process. Before you now go to computer room. So we say no, we should not make citizens to be walking around because of one process. They created office anywhere there is outlet of internal revenue. You find the VIO there, you find the MLA there, you find the revenue officer there. When they finish all their processes and they confirm and certify that you are to be issued with the license, they put the red barrel signature. You find the computer room of FRSC. That is the end editing. So the problem is, the office does not belong to FRSC. If you go there now, I may not even know the personnel there, except my own staff that are operating computer.
Yeah, but
we have been collaborating with the Internal Revenue Service.
Okay.
They are also very serious about this. They have been fighting it. Human beings are very difficult to control. To the best of my knowledge, during my tenure here, they have reduced. I cannot say eradicate completely, but I will use, in fairness to them, they have reduced drastically the number of towels hanging around the revenue offices.
All right, so we need to take a break, and after that, I'm certain you have questions for the sector commander of the FRSC. And when we're
The Morning Crossfire.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers.
Crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3
Fire on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. It still is the Morning Crossfire. My name is Sam Oracle Chinedu. My guest, Commandant Salisu Umar Galadunci, the Sector Commander of the FRSC in River State, shares the plans and processes of the FRSC. I'm certain you have a question or two. This will be the time to make your voice heard. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. Please turn off your radio as you call and go straight to the point. Time is not a luxury we can afford. Good morning.
Yeah, Sam, good morning.
Good morning.
I greet the commander in the studio.
Good morning, Sam.
Yeah, my name is David, and I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Our people say something that the child that is giving armor, everything he says becomes nail. When you see your people operate on the road, there's not like, oh, just wear your seatbelt and just move. Everything is money. Is there any tax you give them that if you must go to social place, you must come back with 100,000 a day? Because the way they rush for money, after now, they'll even be worse than the tax force themselves. So, is it the mandate that you're supposed to raise money or revenue generation for the state or for themselves or for you or for the whichever area they are operating?
All right.
Now I want to ask a question. Is it you are talking about money and revenue, so you are just confusing me. Is it for the contraventions of traffic offense that one might be found to be issued a ticket to go and pay to government is what we are complaining about, if I may ask?
Oh, he's not on the phone anymore.
Okay, he's not on the phone. Because if there are many, if you check from your this, you will see we have more than 30 offenses, traffic offenses, of which somebody, like I used to tell people, I don't like coming to the studio to be talking about fines and fines and fines, because I don't want to scare people. What I want people to know, the implications of doing this and doing that, and let us correct ourselves. It is better for me, because when you keep on talking about fine, people may not understand your job and your function directly. That issue of fine is the last option for an FRSC, but you cannot avoid it most times, that there must be someone who has contravened. Look at the way people drive in Port Harcourt.
So let's take an example, Mr. Galadunci. Let's say I'm a traffic offender.
Okay.
And I see road safety officials who understand what offense I've committed. What happens from that point?
You see, there are one or two ways in FRSC operates. Because he talked about if you come out with 100,000 naira, for example, you will not go back with a kobo. And there is no any offense in FRSC that is more than 50,000. And the 50,000 naira offense is not for everybody. We call it dangerous driving. It will be the last. Do you understand? In fact, I have coaching my men before you book somebody down, you must consult me. And you must convince me.
What qualifies as dangerous driving?
There are many ways. Time will not permit us here. Do you understand?
Yes,
you attempt to kill somebody on the road. You attempt to kill yourself, or to cause serious injury to people by your nature of driving.
Okay.
Will result in. So even as that one, I'm encouraging them and my staff, because I have to know. You have to convince me on this, so that we don't go and make some mistakes. Because we are also a citizen, like I used to say.
So how do I make payment?
The issue here is, do you understand, where somebody contravened and it becomes necessary. The first thing is, we have a voting. We don't know that in a party will go and operate for 6 hours. We may stop like 50 vehicles, you understand? They will return like 50, 40 with the registration number record. They have stopped those vehicles, and they have warned them. People are only concerned about the one that the issue ticket. So the one that becomes necessary that the patrol officer feel that he cannot just let go. For example, you catch you are driving, make use of form. You catch you and you are fully overloaded because you feel that it doesn't mean you and other dealers. It doesn't let go. He gives you a ticket and you go to bank and it has a reference remitter reference number.
So you pay to that, not to the road official.
Safety.
Okay.
Because the money that you pay has gone into federal government account directly. No road safety person see it.
So let's take some more calls. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, my dear brothers in the studio.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm your best.
All right.
Just best.
You see, what pains me mostly is that the disturbances of the road safety and call them out for is for the people that is doing their business. Most of them are trying to leave this motor business to another set of things. Once my going back to crime, you see how road safety disturb people in the road. You even pity those that work. I thought that their work supposed to be telling the government the road that is not safe. I thought that's supposed to be their work. Because Nigeria have not started to manufacture car.
All right.
I don't really get what you want
quickly
to say,
because we don't have time.
You have mentioned
the point I want to raise is
the
disturbances. People are leaving job to crime. Because
okay.
You cannot apply at the road. We'll tell them this.
Okay.
You see, my brother, you have thought of what pains you. Let me tell you what pains me every day. As I'm coming here from Port Harcourt to studio, I've met a lot of traffic offenders. I've met people driving, and they're holding phone in their hand talking. It pains me. Do you understand? If I'm on patrol, if I see that person, I will stop. I have seen people how they took one way. It pains me. Do you understand? I've seen where people who come to junction, they don't obey, they don't wait for it to another. It pains me. So you're talking what pain you. If people don't want those kind of things, the best thing is for them to obey the law. Where do we sit down in Nigeria and we always admire? No, Mr. Sam. Where do we sit down here in Nigeria? We admire how the discipline on traffic in other countries. We travel outside, we behave very well. We come back here, it becomes something. And when a law enforcement or road safety, people will say it's paining them, they are disturbing them.
Well,
so inside the city,
there are lots of things. There are lots of things that hurt us.
Inside the city, the way people behave, are we happy about that? You understand? The way people drive, are we happy about it? People who hit each other, and when you talk to them, they even abuse you. So please let us try to obey these traffic rules. It pains us also.
Yes. We are desperately hurting. 2 minutes. It's not enough. But the plans of the road safety for Easter very quickly.
Yes, the plan is we have deployed all our men, including our special marshals, those volunteers. We have mobilized all our equipment, and that's why we commence a mobile court. We have planned to even have a rest area, help area at Oibo. Okay. We put a tent there, so in case a traveler in need of any help, whether even if you are driving, you are tired, you can stay there. The place is well secured. We keep on talking to people to drive safely. Go and celebrate. This is a period for sober revelation. Just wait for the awakening of Jesus Christ, and this is so that we pray together. Do you understand? It's not the period. Easter is not the period. This is a period I notice also people visit and make also kind of proposals and marriage and burials. Let us do it in a manner that we obey the traffic rule. Let us do it in a manner that nobody gets injured or nobody die as a result of road traffic accident.
There's a direct question here on WhatsApp. How much is the driver's license supposed to cost?
Let the person visit a driver's, what do you call it, internal revenue. We have said it here. People always are after this amount. But if you know how much, it's 3 years. Because why I don't want to talk about, there are certain fees that are the state government, Ministry of Transport. People always call me to complain. I say I don't know about that one because that is purely ministry's affair. They have put a, what do you call it, driving test and the charging fee. But what people pay into government account for 3 years driver's license is 6,350.
6,350.
What people are supposed to pay to government for 5 years period of license is 10,400 naira.
Okay.
But there are other charges. You must pay service charges. You must pay all these things. That is what I don't know about.
Finally, Mr. Galadunci, how can people contact the road safety? Are there numbers or channels through which they can do that?
People can always call us on 122. It's a toll free. Nobody will charge you. If you have any emergency, if you call 122, they will link you directly with our call centers, and you will give them the precise description of the location of the situation that you want to report, and they will call the nearest command.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam.
Have a beautiful day.
And you too.
Okay. Swat Nigeria Info PH on all platforms, at Sparking Oracle on all platforms. I apologize. I'm signing out too quickly, but well, time is not my friend. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow.